Sometimes I feel I wanna hide, but that's just only in my mind. This funky groove just keeps me high. It brings me alive.
And maybe I'll wait for the rain. Get caught up in it, let my thoughts go. So many things on my mind. Get me back living high. Ooh, I think I'm feeling real nice. And give me that dirty vibe. And play me that dirty vibe. And play me that dirty vibe. I feel this dirty vibe. Can you feel this dirty vibe? I feel this dirty vibe. Can you feel this dirty vibe?
There's just so many ways to feel. Yeah, this is different, but it's made to heal. Just let this groove run through your mind. Let it get you high.
It's more than a moment, giving me life. The feeling of euphoria, colors are flickering bright, and I'm here, got me going, and I don't wanna leave, keeping me here. And play me that dirty vibe, give me that dirty vibe. I feel this dirty vibe. Can you feel this dirty vibe? I feel this dirty vibe. Can you feel this dirty vibe?
It's overwhelming and indescribable. I get stressed from the world, so I'm turning to unreliable. Bass, guitar, and some keys. Even the horns takes me places in the fields of gold I can adorn. I feel at most peace I possibly ever been, especially in those moments where it's set for me to never win. Overcome the odds, expression that be my cause, and turning this energy to a round of applause. I sink in with the melodies, fluent vibes incredibly. 2 steps to shoulder bounces and rock it steadily. Illustrate my thoughts with this pen to paint a better me. It's my escape when running this race to where the cheddar be. Now my emotions exploring all on the canvas, so even when I'm old, I'm still a man on the campus. Keeps me clean even when my thoughts is on the dirty side. That's why I'm baptized with blessings on this dirty vibe. Hey.
It's on my mind, this dirty vibe. Let our thoughts just intertwine and fill up on this dirty vibe. It's on my mind, this dirty vibe. Let our thoughts just intertwine and fill up on this dirty vibe. It's on my mind, this dirty vibe.
crazy accident on 94 in Chicago. I don't know what they were doing on that highway. Took me longer than expected to get here. I was driving as fast as I could, but man, this traffic in Chicago. These people are crazy. Let me know you guys can hear me. Type some ones while I'm talking. Type some ones. We're going to get right to it. None of that extra stuff. I know I normally have my pre-show, but I'm not doing that tonight because we have a special night. Preachers Going Wild, going back to back, which is crazy. Type some ones. Let me make sure you guys can hear me, though. Somebody type some ones. Okay, what's up, Elvis? What up, Jason? What up? Okay, listen. It's been a crazy day. And sometimes being a musician is very, very difficult, especially when you play gospel music and church music like I do. You come across some drama every now and then, and now we have drama. But do me a favor. I never ask you guys to share anything, but share this one. Because this one, yeah, I'm not going to get to the fire room. But but I guarantee you, I'm a little bit upset tonight. I'm not gonna even hold you. I'm really upset. And as a musician, as somebody that, has dedicated his life and his talents to gospel and to church, I could have been doing a host of other things. I could have played R&B and all of that, or whatever. But I chose to play gospel music because I have so much of a love for it. I've been doing this for longer than a lot of you probably been alive. I've been doing it professionally for 25 years plus, and I've been playing in church my whole life. I started on drums, and then I moved over to the bass because if you played in church like I have, you're not going to play drums much in a Pentecostal church. You got to find something else to play because the line is so long. But I saw something today that just blew my mind. And so we're going to get right to it, okay? Preachers Going Wild. Let's get to it. I hate doing this sometimes. Do you play bass? I try to, Cimarron. Every now and then I play bass. Every now and then I try to do a little something. But tonight, man, it's just real crazy. But it has been a lot going on. I'm not oblivious to the other things that have gone on as far as in church. Some of the things you guys have sent me, and thank you for sending me so much material. I got Preachers Going Wild to last me until I move to the next level in whatever my eternity shall be. Hopefully it's with God our Father, but after tonight he might be like, no, I'm not letting you in. Really enjoyed your church service today and how the women opened up and expressed themselves. Yeah, that was interesting. The men will have their say next week. I didn't want to. I know people wanted me to say some things tonight, and I'm going to wait till next week because I wanted the ladies to have their say. I wanted them to be able to express themselves without them being ticked off at me tonight. So it was wonderful. Thank you, Jason. It was good to hear them. I'm never against listening to the ladies speak. We do need to listen to them as fellas. That's the only way you can understand where they're coming from. Problem is, a lot of that we already knew, especially if you've been watching my platform, you already know. I share this stuff with you all the time. But I don't want to do relationship stuff tonight because we got stuff to talk about. Preachers Going Wild. Now, I really did. Woo, Jesus. I really didn't want to do this to this man because I know him. He's in our fellowship. But if Bishop can make it to Preachers Going Wild, you can make it to Preachers Going Wild. And I'm going to let you guys see this and tell me what you think on the other side. Here we go.
And then now what we do is we label people at the church. Oh, he's a homosexual and she's a lesbian. He's a drunkard and she's a prostitute. But what are you? We all in the same boat and need some help because it came from somewhere. Oh, y'all, we were wrapped in sin and shaping it into iniquity. Y'all ain't got. We all came out of our mother's coochie needing deliverance. Ain't nobody talking to me in this church. Post it as a clip, put it on Facebook, send it around the church, dust it off, and be all right with it because this is real talk season because we need deliverance in the church.
All right. I think I'm doing this real quick. I think sometimes we want to say something, and a lot of things we say that may be deep and may be something that we need to hear. we then dilute it or destroy it or denigrate it by saying things that we probably shouldn't say over the mic when we are live. I mean, to say stuff like that over the live, I don't know. I just think we say too much. And I do respect him. I know him, but not so much, man. I mean, we tend to, I know we want to try to meet people where they are. I get it. But sometimes they need to come up where we are and we don't have to go that way. To say that word, now you may hear it here, and I don't even go there. I say viscous innards. I don't even go that raunchy. Sometimes I do. But I'm not going to do that tonight. That's not why I'm at. But I just think in the church setting, I just think this is a little bit too much. You can tell me what you think. Let me see. Leave my mama out of it. Keywan laughs. Elvis said, yo. I get it. We all came from the viscous innards, but I don't think this is something that raunchy. Yeah, I don't know if I would have gone there. That's just me. But I know, me being this, first of all, I got to say this, and even though he's having his problems,
Pause.
I'm going to pause this in advance because what I'm about to show you right now, wow. I just don't know if I would be sitting cowboy. I don't know if I'd be sitting like this on another man. It's just me. That's reverse cowboy girl, and this is a sidebar. I mean, Lan, tell me really, honestly, is this a little bit too much? I think it is too much, me personally. I don't know if this is what I would do, because when I saw him sitting sideways, reverse cowgirl on him, I was like, damn! I couldn't, that's just not something I would do. It's just me. Simran says it's viral bait. I agree. So I'm going to get to why you are really here. You want to talk about this situation. And I did this to kind of break the ice, do these little couple of things. But now let's get to the creme de la creme. I'm kicking you in. If you sit on me, it's a wrap. Once I get up, it's gonna be. I'm not dealing with that too. I just can't take it. I had a guy tell me he did that recently to a young man and had certain struggle. No. That's simple pause. We just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things. And then in this climate where everybody's calling everything that, you just can't do it. If I was at that church, I probably would have left. I just don't do stuff like that. That's just way too much. I would have gotten out of there. Sitting on no man, reverse cowgirl, you just don't do it. You just don't do it. Okay? So anyway, when I saw this situation that happened with this young man, young musician, I was immediately upset. And I know I saw Larry Reed talking about it when I was going into church this evening. And I knew, as a musician myself, I just definitely needed to go here tonight because I normally don't go live this late, and for me to do it back to back and set up this show as fast as I did, even though it was just 2 little clips, but Jesus, I've been on the receiving end of some of this before, and I know what this feels like. The young man is only 17 years old, ladies and gentlemen. He's only 17. And when I saw what I saw, I said, oh, this kind of ticked me off. And I was really, really mad at this thing because I was like, I don't know. And when I heard what she said, the first thing came to my mind was,
this is bullshit.
And that's where I'm at with it. And I'm going to open it up with what I said before. This goes to all the preachers, the pastors, the prophets, the apostles, the disciples, the people that can walk on water and float through the air. You can turn water into wine. You doing all of that. You touching snakes. You flipping them up and everything else. Let me tell you this. Musicians and singers and people who, man, in our churches, we're 75 to 80% of the service. We are not your punching bag. You should not ever think it's okay to get up in the mic and use us as your talking point to rebuke us, to put us on blast, especially if you are live, especially in front of people. Whatever happened to rebuking people? I know they say rebuke before all so others may fear. How many other musicians are there in that audience? I only saw them. And what I'm finding out, the more and more I find out about this situation, the more upset I get. And I'm going to let you guys who haven't seen it, I'm going to show it to you so you can understand where I'm coming from. Because believe it or not, some people haven't seen it, but you're about to see it right now. Wait for the ever play.
It's a generation that don't want God for real. And I'm going to say this right here, no pun intended, just for you guys.
I'm going to be stopping this thing, just so you guys know. I should have put this in the theater, but, you know, I didn't get the theater. It's kind of junky. It's popcorn left from the last crew. So we're here. When she said, no pun intended, I'm trying to figure out what pun she's talking about. But then she went right to the musicians. Now, I want you guys to understand something. These are not her musicians. These musicians, she's a guest at the church. I just want you to remember that. This is not the pastor of this church. She's a guest there. Okay? Here we go.
But I will have to say I can't come in a place and not be a prophet of God. But that's what's happening to the body of Christ with the music.
Now, I'm going to say this real quick. She said you cannot come into this place and play as musicians and not be prophets of God. Just because you are a musician, does that mean you are a prophet? Yes or no in the comment section. Yes or no. If you are just a musician, are you automatically a prophet of God? Yes or no? Yes or no? I'm going to say absolutely positively no, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But just because you are a musician does not make you a prophet automatically. Thank you, prophet. I'm going to say prophet. Fred Ward is here. So he's saying no. He's a prophet. He's saying no. Wayman says no. Jason says no. Bro, as a musician, you are 1,000%. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Yes, I know what notes. Minstrel, not prophet. I would even say, I'm not even with the minstrel. You are a musician. Minstrel is a medieval term for somebody. And here's the thing, those minstrels didn't play for God. They played to worship the king. So we need to be very careful when we say minstrels, especially you think about it. In the Bible, it's written in 16th century English, the one that y'all love so much, the King James. But you got to really go back and look what minstrels really were. I'll say musician, but if you want to say minstrels, I'm not going to beat you over the head with it, pause, but this is where I'm coming from. But I don't say prophet. I don't say prophet. What musician heard her? We ain't going to get into that. So when she said that first thing, I was like,
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
I'm like, why would you even think to go there? Automatically. It only means musician. Exactly. I think we're in love with, we think God has a special, quote unquote, anointing on 16th century English. Anyway, let's continue.
We have people, musicians, that lead and don't want the word. But I'm going to tell you something, the word, your gift that God gave you is for him and his people.
Stop. See, I'm going to do this tonight because I hear this all the time. To me, as a musician that has played pretty much my whole life, do I believe it's a gift? I believe it's a gift, but I believe it's more a talent because you have to nurture it. You have to develop it. You have to work, practice, put in time with it. Do I believe it's a gift? Yeah. But you say give to God. No, it could be just for you to earn money to support your family. So if I'm doing that, am I wrong? She's making it seem like I'm just supposed to do it to the temple, to the church. And I hate when people say that. And I only seen a few people are kind of starting to get away from that now. But to here, she must still have that. She got a lot of masculine energy too, by the way. She got a lot of man-to-be vibes. Where's my man at? Here you go. She got a lot of man-to-be vibe. This is what I see when I hear her. that masculinity. But here we go.
So what is happening in the body, I know some of y'all looking at me crazy, but I'm going to tell you something. That's just how I work. I'm telling you, I don't come and sugarcoat nothing because I would do it even in my church if I had to. But when you are playing with somebody, we see it all over. I travel all over the world. As soon as the preacher starts preaching, we get up and leave, and then we go to get something to eat and drink. I would decree and declare that the musicians will get saved all over again.
And see, this is what, I don't know if you guys noticed this. When she said this, that musicians get saved all over again, ma'am, how do you know they're not? She had a problem with musicians. She said something about musicians getting up to get their drink or whatever. Those of us who are musicians, we know how tough it is to play in church. We know how tough it is. We know you're playing from the time they open service almost to the time the preacher gets up. And that usually is like an hour for some of us that we play straight. You mean to tell me we can't have a moment to gather ourselves? Because if you play in a church like I do, we actually have to create on the spot. We're thinking, we have to move, and it's dun-dun-dun, 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 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. You know, you got to listen. Your brain is working at 8 o'clock in the morning and all of that. Sometimes you do need a moment to go outside and say, hey, I need to get a drink of water. I need to think about what just happened. I need a moment. And with the musicians, I'm MD at the church. So when the musicians, and I respect them, and I love the fact that they actually be like, hey, can I go get something? I don't necessarily like it all the time because we're not in prison, but they do show respect to me, and they say, hey, I'm going to get some water or whatever. And they know when Bishop is up, at any moment, he could tune up. But when the other preachers are preaching, sometimes they say, okay, I got a moment, and I let them go. That doesn't diminish them, because last I checked, there's a mic in the church and they can still hear you. They're not outside doing anything crazy. These musicians are not outside doing that. And here's the thing, some musicians do need that moment. And you know the crazy part about it? The father of the drummer said their pastor actually lets them have that moment. That's actually something that they do at their church. They allow the musicians to go out and have a moment. And so you decided to berate them for something that they always do, which is weird. And like you said, Wayman, and here's another thing. That's right. Wayman says it looks like the audience is enabling. That's exactly what it is. You hear people, I literally heard somebody speaking, why are you speaking in tongues about this, ma'am? For what? Just ridiculous. But let's continue.
See, we so jealous that in the body of Christ now. We don't want to check leave. We don't want to check nobody. We don't want to check musicians. Because everybody getting paid, right? I will pay you and still rebuke you.
Okay. She said she would pay you and then rebuke you, but you didn't pay them. They are not your musicians. And somebody left earlier. I forgot who it was. They said, why did the pastor allow this? That's my question. Why? It should not have gone this far. You let this woman come in, this man to be come in your church and decide to go with your musicians, and you didn't do anything. Now, I'm not going to go with her. I don't know the pastors of this church, but I know if it were me, I would have definitely handled my business, got up there and told you, hey, okay, either preach what thus said the Lord or sit down. That's exactly what I would have done. You said the pastor wasn't there. Okay, good. Then so who was there allowing this to happen then? And there is a difference between public rebuke and public humiliation. You're right, Elvis. And it is a power trip. But let's continue.
You play something? You okay? Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you play something? Can you play? I'm going to tell you something. so he don't want to play. Aiden, can you go play, please? I don't even think you understand what you just did, young man, and who was in your presence. But I will give you 48 hours to repent.
Okay. Just so much. First thing, you gave him 48 hours to repent of what? I thought repent means to turn. Does that mean to turn? To make a turn? To turn around? Does that not what repent means? My Bible scholars in the comment section, please tell me, is that not what that means? So repent of what? But wait, it gets worse. Hold on.
48.
Go around there. What's the other way?
48. Please let me get his name before I leave. I hope y'all aren't recording this. This makes what I've been speaking true.
Now, here's the problem. You said you give him 48 and you feel like you was moving in the spirit. Now, see, this is why y'all need to be careful. Y'all need to be careful. You said you was moving in the spirit and then you asked his name. Why do you need to ask his name? Wouldn't that been given to you? And what do you need his name for? And then you said, okay, and I hope you guys are taping this. Yeah, because you wanted your viral moment. But that wasn't the most disturbing thing. And I'm going to go here, and it needs to be said. One of the reasons why these people think they can do that to us as musicians, because it will always be somebody else. When you are moved, it will always be somebody else to run up there in your stead and play. That's one of the reasons why they do what they do. Because as much y'all watch, if you watch my platform, you already know how I feel about a lot of this. You know, I'm old school, but I'm kind of new. But I believe you should carry yourself in a certain way when you are serving at somebody's church or you're playing. Even if it is your job, it's a certain way you need to present yourself. You know what I'm saying? You need to still fall in line with the standards that they have in their house, right? But this was out of order. And you were right within your means to get up off those instruments. When she said, could you play? I would be like, no, I'm not about to play. You just put me on blast and you just pretty much told people I'm out here being a heathen. You just pretty much did that. I would have said no. And if you listen, he said he in a way. This is my drums. I don't know if y'all know that. That was his drums. She did that because it was allowed to do, Elvis. And like I said, somebody else was running up there to play. This is the issue. Younger musicians, older musicians, this is an issue. If you see somebody wrong another musician, what makes you think that won't happen to you? She's not going to pay you. That woman is not going to pay you. And what's going to end up happening, you're going to blow it up with this dude, pause. Y'all gonna have a falling out, and after it's over, she not gonna give you nothing. You still gonna go home to your air mattress. You still gonna do that. And now you look bad. You look thirsty. We don't stick together very well, musicians. We do not stick together. But I make it a point. If you treat my brother wrong in this way, and I know about it, I'm not taking your gig. I'm not going to play for you. I'm not going to do anything for you. And I understand, trust me, I understand. I've been where you are. I understand how you need to play because this is your way that you earn your living. I understand that. And I'm not going to be that person that does that. You know, that's just not me. I understand it. I would hope that you would learn to get something else, but I'm not going to excoriate you just because you don't. But in these moments like this, it makes me glad that I do have some other things going on because I could walk up out of there. And if I should, if there should be a consequence, I'm ready and prepared to deal with those consequences. But in this situation, you get up. Stop playing for these people. Exactly. He wasn't even getting paid. She made it a point to put this young man and the other man, we can't forget about the keyboard player, he just decided to play. Now, I need that man's name Whatever his name is, if you are on my friend list, inbox me his name. Young man, I don't know you. I think your name is Josiah or something like that. I was watching Larry Reed live and I couldn't really, they were trying to do something for him, but I'm going to do something for you. I need his name. Inbox me his name. I'm going to contact him and I'm going to give you a blessing myself. I'm going to give this young man $100. So if y'all know him, let him know or give me his information. I'm going to give him $100 myself. Because for you to be ridiculed like that and you to be put on blast like that, I was disappointed in what she did. I feel for you, and I'm going to bless you. I'm going to do that. Josiah Majors, okay, good. I just feel like we're getting to the point where musicians are now put on blast for everything. It's like we can't, if we play something wrong, we're not filled. When we need to get before God. We're doing the best we can, a lot of us. Now, there are some that deserve a rebuking, but let that be to their leaders. That's part of my job. That's Bishop's job. That's Shelly's job. That's us. Our jobs as older musicians, especially if we see the young ones out of line. That's our job. But I tell you, musicians, and I say this, and I know on my platform, I'm not literally looking at you, putting you on blast. But I will never disrespect you. I will not do that to you. I will always show you the same respect that I think you should have for me. If I'm at your church and I'm doing a seminar and I'm talking, I'm never going to disrespect you. You have my word. And we need to start doing that because these musicians, a lot of them are not paid what they should be paid. We're not taking care of them like that where they can afford to live. We're not doing that. Now, if you have a church that got 25 members, I'm wondering why you got a church in the first place and not in your home. Why you paying these expenses for this building? You should just do it at home. But I'm talking about for you churches, you bringing in a decent amount of money, and then you want to ride these musicians and you want to go at them, but you paying them $100 a week, and they go in rehearsal, doing service, and playing for you and preaching. But you think it's okay to then put them on blast and then challenge their spirituality because they need to go get some water. You cannot make this shift up. You cannot make it up. So I got my link pinned. Okay. Yeah, I see it. I see it, Samurai. I got my link. Anybody that want to jump on and throw their 2 cents in can. I'm allowing it tonight. But I think it's time out for us doing that. This lady was far out of line. If it was up to me, she'd never preach in my church again. This man would never preach in my church again. Let me say this. And I know some of you going to really, really say this. I think Fred Ward, if he's still watching, he would probably attest to this. I'm not scared of any of you. I'm not scared of you. I'm never scared of God's prophets. And I'm definitely not as scared of devil's prophets. I'm not scared of you. There is nothing you can do to me. Because if you are over the mic speaking curses on me, they won't work. Because I'm not cursed. Why are you in the mic cursing believers? That's not what prophets should be doing. They should not be preaching fear. You preach what God gives you, of course. You share what God gives you, of course. But I highly doubted God told you to do that. Because God knows you put this young man on blast. And don't we know we can damage these young people by doing that? We're hanging on to our young people already by a thread. I don't know if y'all looked around. Some of these churches ain't got a lot of young people in them. And as the older ones die, Generation X and maybe some of the millennials, as they move on, the church will have no young people, especially the fire. When I was coming up, we had fire. We had zeal. We wanted to go to church. We wanted to do some things. These young people don't necessarily have that. And part of the reason is they are tired of seeing stuff like this happen and nobody comes to their defense. You got people on platforms coming to their defense. But to date, we ain't had none of those major ones say anything. And I shouldn't see this. This young man said they're already burnt out. Let me get to that. Man, where's my cursor? My Mac is acting funny today, y'all. There it is. Hold on, maybe I should turn up the, yeah, okay. There he is. But this is disturbing to me. They're already burnt out from the church because of how we do, how we carry ourselves. Now, I will say some of these young musicians, you do need a good spanking offline, a good tongue lashing, pause, offline, because some of the things that you do is unacceptable. But there's no way in the world you could tell me that you deserve to be ridiculed and put on blast in front of everybody where everybody can shake their holy head and look at you like you some demon. That wasn't right. That's absolutely positively unacceptable. And I'm telling you, y'all need to stop doing that. Preachers, if this is you, stop doing it. Prophets, if this is you, stop doing it. See, I'm getting to the point where I'm really seeking God right now because I'm starting to not really care about disrupting now. So before you come and you look into my eyes and you think it's okay to prophesy to me, you better make sure you good. Because I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I'm going to really go there with you. You're wrong. You off. My father loves me. My family is all together. We don't have issues. I'm going to start calling y'all out. And that's another thing. Let me go here. We let prophets lie to us in our pulpits and we do nothing about it. They lie. You know that what they're saying is wrong and we just clap our hands and sit down. We give them permission to do this foolery again. Until we start saying, no, you wrong. Because they don't have a problem putting your business out on the street, making people think about it. Some of these prophets, I've physically seen one prophet call this young man up and pretty much tell him his marriage, talked about this man's marriage in front of the whole church. And was wrong. I'm waiting. The line is open. The second I see somebody pop in, I'll let you on. Let me make sure my audio's set because my thing be tripping sometimes. Hold on. Unbelievable. It's unacceptable. I blame Brian Carnes. Oh, we ain't doing that, my boy. We're not doing that. And that's another thing. Elvis is right. Learn what to say on live. Do y'all know it's kind of hard to get in front of this camera and speak to you? Because sometimes I want to say some stuff and I know I shouldn't, and I'm trying to be better. I'm not trying to be really, really cutthroat until I'm talking about the relationship stuff. Then I really go there. But on this stuff, I try to be more, diplomatic, more strategic. But it's starting to get really difficult because the stuff that I've been seeing and the way we talk to people over this mic, it's like this microphone gives you the power to think you can just say whatever you want to. But I promise you, the Bible is clear. Your mouth can count. You can get these blows. You can catch these hands and, the old school way they fight. You can catch these hands. Let me see. Who's there? No, click the link. You just got to click it. I don't see you. You're not in my green room. Click the link, Samurai, and I should see you. I would have heard you come in the green room, pause. Try Jesus. Right. Try Jesus. Marcus, you are absolutely right. Try Jesus and not me. And I feel like for somebody that's been playing as long as I have, I didn't start. We always used to get rebuked back in the old Kojic church. We did. We got rebuked a lot. I must have gotten saved 30,000 times. We used to get rebuked, but there were no cameras. It was just us, the Terry service. Now everybody has a phone. Everybody has a camera. You're live. We literally see the numbers. And you think we need to be careful not to do that. And the thing is, here's the crazy thing. The father actually told the pastor or whatever, called this lady and tried to have a conversation. She didn't even respond. He tried to go through the right ways to do it. This is how you know it's not God. If I should ever wrong any of you and you should ever come into my inbox, we're going to have a discussion. We're gonna talk, and we're gonna hopefully. And my man, when I go to talk to people, it's never to be right. I want to. If I hurt you, my mindset is I want to mend this thing. I want everything to be cool. I don't like having enemies, even though you're gonna have some in this world. That's reality. But I don't like having enemies. I like to try to get along with people. And I think as believers, our job should be to reconcile, to try to work this out. So somebody reached out to me and something that I said on a live or a panel or anything they felt they wanted to say something to me, I would. Do you think the rebuke, let me see what you're saying, women. You think the rebuke we got was warranted? Not all the time, no. Because the rebuke we got, I almost got sat down for having sex with a woman that I never touched. And I was rebuked for it. And I'm telling you, I never touched her, and they just felt like you did. And so it was like stuff like that would happen, but we would get rebuked. Musicians would get rebuked. And now it's getting to the point where they say, okay, and I'm going to say this, musicians have my back. Musicians want to get prayed for too, not all the time, because we don't know you. And see, we see things that people in the audience don't see. They're enamored by you. Musicians oftentimes are not. We look at you prophets, we look at you people, and we're studying you more than the people in the audience. And we're looking, trust me, them groups be going, you ain't touching me. And here's the thing, a lot of you got more dirt on you than a little bit. So we know your dirt. And so musicians like, he ain't putting his hands on me, or she ain't touching me. No, we reading you before. And people think musicians we need them to get, no, we don't want some of them touching. I would say a good 65 to 70% of them, we don't want touching us. That's the real. We don't want them touching us. We don't want what you got going on. That's 100% honest to God truth. And musicians, if you want to keep it real, I'm telling the truth. We do not want you touching us. We don't want you touching us. Leave us alone. Yeah, we do. We are tired. And yes, we do. We shed some of our anointing when we're playing. But some of this stuff you cannot replenish because you're not able to replenish because you're only doing it for show. Musicians, most of us that are in tune with the church and in tune with the spirit, we see fake. And we know fake. We're not moved by you being able to tell me what color drawers I got on. We're not moved by that. A lot of us, we don't care. You can tell me everything, and the only thing we're worried about is that you're going to put us on blast and put all our business in the street. But the devil knows me too, because the devil was there when I was smashing. So, of course, I'm still, like I tell you, I'm not afraid of any of you. I don't care what dirt you put out there on me. I know my relationship with God. I know my relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. I don't care what you think you can put out there on me. I'm not scared of you. So if you came to my church and you think it's okay to do that, you may have an audience there, but you better believe either in my car or before this camera and these hot lights, I'm going to get my say. I promise you, I'm going to have my say. Musicians are tired of being punching bags. That is not why we serve. That is not why you hired us if we're looking at it as a gig. Our job is not to take verbal abuse from somebody we don't know, or even you. It's a difference between you correcting us in love and respect and honor, because honor and respect should be a two-way street. A lot of y'all only want that honor coming to you, and that needs to stop too. But I can go there another week. But we're not there for you to beat up on us. We have feelings too. We feel a way. Everybody looking at us. A lot of us can take rebuke when it is warranted. But to just do it just because you can, I'm seeing it too much. I'm seeing it too much. You mean we got to battle demons coming at us? Because assuming that there is a deliverance, we play a big part in it. Most of you don't get anything done unless we're playing. You're not able to preach in a silent message. You see any music playing right now? A lot of you cannot even talk unless there's some music playing. Yes, there's some music. I wish I had my hoop triggers because I'll be playing the music. You need us, but then you turn around and do that. You think we don't fight the same things you fighting? Them demons coming at us too. And how do you think those demons coming at us? Because Sister Susie Brickhouse will walk around that church. That's a demon for us. Because we going to look and be mesmerized by that demon. Because the demons that you think, they're not necessarily big snarling monsters that's going to fight you. No, it's the demon of our temptations. The things that we fight to distract us for what we're supposed to be doing. That is real. Distraction it could be something that you can call demonic. Distraction. If there's a deliverance happening or there's a breakthrough happening and we're so distracted by other things in church, don't you think we need to battle that too? Because as I said before, we see everything. We're right there in the front. We're battling beef with each other sometimes. Sometimes we're not getting along. And we have to play in this edifice in the same area while we're not getting along. We're battling that. We have to remember thousands of songs. We have to be in tune with the Spirit. We have to pretty much guess what you pastors and preachers going to preach and sing. And then we got to deal with that too. That's stress. Mo 90% of them will be fixed without music. We play such a huge role in church, and I think it's time we remember that, musicians. Now, some of you can't do that because, like I said, you are part of the Air Mattress crew. And here's the thing. Eventually, you're going to have to make a decision, though. That's the real. Because the more you let them think it's okay, it's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen. Or you're going to thug out. What you going to do? You're going to be mad now. You're mad now. Oh, God, I'm mad. So what are you going to do? And preachers, I want to know, if you went at the musicians and all of them said, I'm out, you're going to have to preach this message without us. What's going to happen?
Don't worry, I'll wait.
I'll wait. Tell me, what you going to do then? I'm still waiting. Hold on. I don't know if he's here. Is that link working for you, Simran? That link is there. I'll post it again. I'll post it again, the link. If any of you want to join it, I'll let you have your say. I'll let you have your say, my Facebook friends. There's the link. Just click on it and come on here. And here's for my YouTube. But I just feel I'm so heated at it because I see it happening too much. And she thinks she did something. And here's the thing. In the book of James, it talks about this. With the same mouth you thank God and you love God or whatever, you will curse your brothers and sisters. I ask you, yes or no, did she all but put a curse on that young man? Did she all but put a curse on him? That's what I want to know. It looked like she put a curse on him. Plus, the church atmosphere will be flattened. Okay. Might as well call the church for the night. Amen. My organist can attest to this. The organist and the keyboard player, they can shift the whole mode of a service. If they're not on their game, the whole service can go. Bass players, we pretty much follow where everybody else is going, and drummers do too. You know, and here's my question. What the heck was he supposed to play in that moment? I mean, what was he supposed to play? He probably was confused. It probably was a dang on, it was confusing to him. He didn't know what the heck he was doing. He was like, hey, what's going on? I don't know what to play. I would have been confused, bewildered. Where you at, Morris? You somewhere around here. Come on, Morris.
They get confused.
Confusing.
Bewildered.
bewildered, lethargic. Woo! Amen,
I don't know
amen.
what he was supposed to play. So she can come out there. Wait a minute. So she can come out the hedges and highways with me. Go talk prophetic to the people on the streets. Oh, we don't even want to talk about that. It seems like that only works in the church for some of them. The men that I respect, like Fred and Cimarron and these men that I know are prophetic or have a great knowledge and they know how to apply the wisdom and knowledge that they've received, those men I don't have a problem with. Fred would tell you I don't have a problem with him. But let me see. I love the fact that you guys, musicians, I love the fact that you guys are talking to me. This is what I need because I'm so mad right now. I almost was about to reach out to her, but like, don't you ever do that again. But I'm nobody. You know, I'm just a bass player. Nobody cares about us. We're the bass players. Like, for real, I'm confused. Like, what was he supposed to swallow? I mean, what was he supposed to do? Let me read your comments. Imagine if the band walked out immediately, which they should have, after she did that and told the pastor they are done. She would have, yeah, that proved. You know what? Eric, you are absolutely right. This is a catch-22. But you, as a musician, you would have left with your dignity. You would have left with your dignity. Because she pretty much took your nuts and put them in a glass, in her juice glass, and sat it right there on the top of the thing. That's what she did. She pretty much emasculated these men. She pretty much bullied these men. Yeah. Oh, you need to get on Safari. No, not you hardly need her. I mean, believe it or not, I'm just a bass player, though. I'm a bass player. Nobody cares about us. She would have tried that to me, though. I'd be like, come here. We didn't have a battle. I promise you. We didn't have a battle. But I want to say this, and then I'm going to leave because I didn't want this. I just really just wanted to talk to my musician friends. And listen, I love you and I respect you. You may not always agree with me, and I'm sure the feeling is mutual on some things. Like the hats. I hate hats. I hate wearing hats in church, but nevertheless. I do love you and I respect you. And those of us who serve in ministry or work at a church, I have respect for you as well. I believe a lot of us are doing what we need to do. I believe a lot of us are showing up on time. I believe a lot of us are doing what we were hired to do. Those of us who believe that it is two sides to it, it's the business and the spiritual side. I believe a lot of us are doing what we need to do. We are, even if we don't agree with the doctrine of the church, we do our best to hold the standard. We don't try to make a nuisance or nuisance to the ministry or bring a reproach on the ministry or whatever. We try our best to do what's right. We're not out here popping out babies by everybody in the church. Some of you are, but that's another story. But great majority of us are doing what we need to do. And the only thing we ask is for the level of respect that you want from us. That's all we ever want. That's all really, honestly, because you can't pay us what we're worth. You can't. You cannot turn on the radio on gospel music and not hear me. That's the fact. Every day you listen to gospel music, whether you know I played it or not, there's not a day that's going to go by where you don't hear me playing something. Because you know one group I play with, but you don't know the other things that I've done. Because I don't care. I'm not a clout chaser, so I'm not going to be like, oh, here. No, I just listen to the radio when I do listen to radio, to music. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember that was nice. I killed that. That was we all killed that. Some songs, we killed it. But that doesn't get to me. You know what really gets to me? When I can see people are actually really touched and blessed by what I play. Yes, I'm paid. That's true. But the older I get and the more I'm involved in other things like IT and technology and computer engineering, I'm really getting to step back and see what we really do and what the aspects and how important we are in church, in ministry, in gospel music. That's why I have such a love for it, because it's not just money for me. For years, I played for an artist and didn't make a dime. I paid for a lot of stuff. So I didn't really make money. I did it because I wanted to. I did it because I love to do it. but I see what we go through. I see our level of dedication. I see our level. Some of us have grown in ministry, being on the instruments without nobody feeling like they needed to pray for us. We've grown in ministry. Do you get to a point where you just want to stop playing on Sunday mornings? Absolutely. Always. But my love for it is it's deep. You know, I even if I wasn't paid, I still would probably play somewhere. You know, I would still do it because I love doing it. When I was in Milwaukee, I wasn't really getting paid much of anything. I lived in Milwaukee for nearly 14 years, and I didn't really make anything. But I still came and I played. I enjoy doing it. This is something that I believe I was created to do. I believe I was created to play bass guitar, church, and gospel. I tried to play R&B. I can play it, but it just doesn't give me that same feeling that I get when I play gospel music. I'm in another world. I feel it's just something special with that to me. It puts me in a different zone. So that's why I don't like when people actually say, you know, try to trash gospel music, because it's such a love that I have for it. I'm like married to this thing called gospel music and church music. I just love it. Some people say you shouldn't do other things. I am. It's called engineering, computer engineering, IT, and networking and everything else. That thing is really working out for me right now. But my love for gospel music and church music and the stuff that I see that happens to church musicians, the stuff that I see we go through, it's unacceptable in a lot of cases. The way that some of you feel you can go with us. And I feel the pain of this young man. And I feel, watching, even when I watched him on Larry Reid, it was just the way he looked. It was just like, wow. It was like, and he you know, he's a young man, he's 17 years old. So I can't imagine the anger that he had. And here's the thing, the 17-year-old young man, I don't want to call him a boy, he's a young man, thought enough to say, I'm not doing it. But it looked like the keyboard player, I'm not sure if he was the same age, but he looked like he was older. He continued to play. The young man stood on his principle and said, I'm not going to do it. The older one continued to play. What is that saying? We need to be the example. We need to be the example. They follow us, fellas, ladies, the older ones. If this happens and I'm the leader, let's go. Let's go. Especially if it ain't my church. Oh, no. Let's go. They gonna do this old school way. And then let her have her say. So what? She already put you on blast. You think it could get worse? Oh, she was a pregnant lady. Okay, good. She should have gotten up. It looked like a man. Wow, that was crazy. It looked like a man in the video. Man, it looked like a man. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but I couldn't tell. It was playing a slow worship with no tempo. It just looked like it was a flow. She shouldn't have been playing anything. That service should have ended. I'm still waiting. I'm gonna leave my link up there for a second, then I'm gonna jump off of here. I'm trying to give you a chance if somebody wants to come on and have their say. I didn't see, that's the crazy thing. I was thinking the whole time it was a man. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. I don't know. You just can't tell. I mean, I don't know her, but I just couldn't tell in the video. I'm just going to say that. But she shouldn't have played anything at all. It won't let me in. You try to use your computer or something. Or just, well, we don't want to have this discussion. This is a discussion we don't really want to have. Because if you say, oh, you need to bring your own musicians, first thing they say is, what? Like, what? I don't want to bring my own musicians. They want to use your musicians, and you want to know why? Because if your musicians are there, we don't have to pay them, which makes it worse. Musicians that you didn't pay, you say, I can rebuke you and pay you, then pay me. Then pay me. And here's the thing, and I'm going to jump off of here, but here's the thing. I say this all the time. You shouldn't rebuke people you don't know. There is a level of rebuke that you should have to people that you don't know, because some of them might want a fellowship. I did it before. Let's do it one more time. Some of them might want a fellowship. Or you might get somebody that may go even harder.
Shut the
You might get that. These younger musicians, look, some of them younger ones, like this young man, they own something else. And some of these church thugs, they definitely will say something. They will say something. This is a different breed. This is a different breed. And let me go here. If we don't leave the church, if we want to stay in the church or whatever, sometimes musicians will be on their phone. Sometimes they will be on their phone scrolling. Let them have their moment to unwind. Let them have that moment. One thing I do know, if you're talking about something, musicians will listen. Nobody ever thinks about that. If you're talking about something, we'll listen. And just because we're not looking up at you don't mean we're not listening too. But we'll look at you if you're talking about something. Have you really thought about it? Maybe you don't have it like that. Maybe you're a horrible speaker. Maybe we should play music behind you because you're losing people, because if you look in the audience, they sleep on you too. You never really think about that. It's easier to blame people for your shortcomings. All of you you're not very good speakers. You're not charismatic enough to hold a room. Nobody wants to hear you talk about Daniel and Lion's Den. I want the lion to eat because I'm so tired of y'all talking. Lion, please, change the story up. The lion ate Daniel this time. Change it up because we're tired of hearing the same old messages. God's going to do this, or God's going to do this, and your destiny is tied to this. We don't want to hear that. We're tired of hearing it. You've been speaking the same messages for 30-something years, and now you got musicians who've heard it pretty much their whole life, and now you want them to sit through your gut-wrenching, horribly boring sermon that you preached last week. And here's another thing. This is how I know we listen, because some musicians be like, didn't he just preach this last week? They listen. But you on them for being on their phone. I'd rather them be on their phone than to be out doing whatever else they could be doing. That's something y'all don't want to talk about. Some of you are in the mic preaching that should not be. I'm a better speaker than some of you. That's horrible because I'm not even a preacher like that. I'm more of a teacher. I'm more of a person that can give you information. But y'all up there, if you have your Bibles. Yes, let's go back to Daniel and Lion Den. I'm tired of woman, the issue of blood. Please, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that. I'm still waiting on y'all to preach Revelation. To be honest with you, that's the book y'all stay away from like the plague. I'm in my 40s. I've never heard anybody preach the book of Revelation from the first chapter to the last. I've never heard it. I've heard you pick and choose out of it. You cherry pick like a mug, but I've never heard you do it. Man, what's that? What's Philemon, Fireman, whatever that book is that nobody reads from? Jude, nobody reads from. Half of the prophets you don't read from. It's the same thing over and over again, and you get mad because people not listening to you. You better be glad they want to go out and just have a moment because you're boring them. You're boring the people. That's why your church is not growing. They're tired of hearing the same thing, and they're tired of you lying to them, telling them next week you're going to be a millionaire. Then they go to the bank and they got a negative 300. They be like, I thought I was going to be a millionaire. See, that's the worst thing. Some of y'all prophesy these dang on millions. You better stop doing it. Because somebody, what if you said next week you're going to be a millionaire? And I go out and give my cameras, my studio stuff, my amps, my basses. And I got basses here. I got too many basses. I need to sell some. What if I decided to give away my plethora of shoes? Everything I own, gave it away. Because I believe I'm going to be a millionaire. Because you said it. That's what God told you. And it does not happen. Because nobody's calling y'all up on your bullshit. That's what's happening. Let me see what you saying. What's up, Kevin? Preachers only talk to poor musicians that way. Musicians with money will walk. So exactly. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I said that a little earlier. They will walk. I know I will. But a lot of musicians are not in that position too. And I mean, I understand. That was once me. I understand. That was once me. I'm glad I'm not there now. I would encourage you to find other avenues so that you can walk. I mean, I'm not telling you should just jump up and leave your job, but you should not take abuse anywhere. You would leave a girl and leave your job. This time tomorrow. Again, I blame the church because they love to beat me so I can preach. Right. So I can shout preaching. Because most of them, and that's another thing, most of them, they need their organist. Start folding those fingers, fellas. Don't let them abuse you. Don't let them abuse you. Y'all need to listen to Kevin. He gives you that hard truth, though. He does. He does. Y'all need to listen to us older musicians. We're not going to put you on gigs. I'm not going to do that. You're going to earn your way to the gig. I'm not going to do that. But what I will give you, the nuggets that you need to sustain yourself beyond the gig. Because your level, integrity, respect, and honor, and that stuff lasts longer than the gig. The thing about gigs, they all end. Every tour will end. Every gig will end. There is no gig that will be forever. You're looking at some artists, they last for 20-something years. That's good. But most artists don't last that long. When you looking for that, meanwhile, you willing to take unnecessary abuse that's going to damage you long run, you're willing to take that. Nah, it's not worth it, fellas. It's not worth it. It's absolutely, positively not worth it. And I say that in love. It's not worth it. It's not. My job is to prevent you from going through what I went through. That's one of the jobs that I have. And if I'm telling you it's not worth it, listen. That young man that walked up to that drums after the young man got off, stop doing that. Because it's not going to be any better for you either. Did you get paid? And you know the crazy part about it is, I'm not sure what happened in that service. I don't really care. But in certain instances, they will give that young man money that they should have given to that other drummer because he got up and played when you didn't. That's crazy. They would do that. They would rather do that than take care of you. This is the mindset. It's like manipulation. It's manipulation. We need to do better, fella. Better. We need to do better. I think a lot of you are great. You have potential to be great musicians. You do. You have all the potential in the world. But at the end of the day, you let people beat up on you too much. You do. I've been telling musicians to stick together, but they don't listen. Yeah. I know, Kevin. And that could be frustrating. Trust me, I talk to a lot of musicians offline, and I have conversations, and it's like you beating the drum, pause, and then they like, whatever. And I don't want you guys have to learn the hard way. It's three ways you can actually learn, and one of them you keep choosing, and that's by the School of Hard Knocks. I don't want you to learn that way because some of you, that's going to end up very, very, very bad for you. We tell you, leave these hoes alone, but you still floating around the worst of the sheep. You floating around the worst ones because before they can get the afterbirth out their body, they down at the courthouse putting you on child support. We're trying to protect you from that. But you need to learn how to listen. And I'm going to tell you something like this. Child support is the worst thing that can happen to a musician. We can have a whole live about that. Child support is the worst thing that can happen to, especially a church musician. Why? Because while a lot of you get paid in church through cash. She puts you on child support, that cash they can't count. So to them, you still owing. As that accumulates, eventually, especially if you mess with the wrong one, and a lot of you do, you mess with the wrong ones because she got a big butt or some chest meat. And so now you happy that you done clapped the cheeks and you done made a baby with the wrong one. She will make sure that she holds that over your head for the rest of your life. And you will always, she's never going to forgive you by getting you off child support. She's going to keep you on there, and you're going to owe. And these things that you love so much, you think you got a gig, how you going to get to the gig without a license? You think you got a gig, how you going to get to the plane? Because eventually they need your license to be up to date. You can get an ID, but what if they say you can't even fly? You can't go overseas. You can't do no tours overseas. You stuck here. It's a form of slavery, a form of imprisonment, but you could have avoided it by listening to us before you to tell you to leave the hoes alone. All of y'all that slept with the same one, but somehow you got her pregnant. Leave them alone. Whew, I didn't even mean to go there. Let a preacher embarrass one musician, the whole band should walk. Absolutely, Kevin. Absolutely. 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 Let me see what you're saying, Eric. Our egos get in our way. We need to pour into the musician and help build them. Not Terry. Yeah, I agree. Then listen to the veteran musicians and learn from them. We need this real talk. I agree with you. I agree. Whew. Listen. I'm telling you, take it from me and take it from a lot of musicians. It's nothing to mess with. Leave these chicks alone. Leave them alone. But see, y'all don't want to because y'all like these chicks. Y'all need to watch my show on Mondays because I talk about a lot of this stuff, especially with these ladies. Because y'all got it real bad, young musicians. I pray for y'all daily. Man, y'all got it real tough. But I'm going to jump off of here. I hope you guys have learned something tonight. This bothered me. I mean, I wasn't at the point where I was emotional because it's hard to get me there. Something like this. It had my blood boiling because I'm so sick and tired of that. I'm so sick and tired of that. I really am. I'm so sick of it. You going in the mic thinking you can say things to singers. Singers get it too. Singers actually get it worse because they volunteering. They go to rehearsals, they sing it all day, and we musicians, at least we get the check at the end of the day. You know, even though, some of us, we still got enough to get our new air mattress or whatever, but still, we still get a check. Singers, a lot of times, don't get anything, and they get it just as bad. They get it just as bad. Everybody thinks, Kevin, you should. If Kevin come over here, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. This thing gonna get real crazy, real quick, real fast. But I just want us to do better. I just want us to do better. I think we should stick together as musicians. I think if the preacher goes there with you and you feel like it's too much, man, don't be super sensitive. Some of you come up in church with a look smelling like weed and homemade sin, then somebody should talk to you about it. Some of y'all don't wash your aspirations, and it tells. You look dusty. So somebody say, hey, man, you need to take a bath. Don't get mad at them. That's a rebuke that you should be able to deal with. But never on live, never in front of people. Never on live, never in front of people. I think that's where, had this been just a regular church moment, we would have never heard about it, and we wouldn't have been here. She wouldn't have made Preachers Gone Wild. But she made Preachers Gone Wild. So Monday, I don't know if, I'm not here Monday. Monday I'm busy Monday. But I'm going to try to do one. Y'all show me that you're willing to do a late night one, and it's probably midnight where some of you live. So we'll try this again next week. Let me see what Jason is saying. Jason, hit me up for stems this late. Man, in my computer, I'll get that to you tomorrow, Jason, if you're still watching. I'll get that to you. He hit me up for these stems. I got you tomorrow. Okay, I'm about to jump off of here, y'all. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, hit my inbox. Send them Preachers Gone Wild. That's funny. Kevin, thank you so much for Kevin, you send me some great stuff. Man, I can't imagine, man. Kevin, I wish you would have watched this panel that I saw at the church I'm at, Powerhouse. Man, if you get a chance, go watch that. But the men speak next week. I'm not sure if I'm on that panel, but Kevin, yeah. Y'all men, we need to get ourselves together. Get your money up, become the best versions of yourself so you can have better options with these women. Stop frolicking around with the carp. Let the Scallies and the Madden Kings and the men, the Dusties, let them deal with those average and below average silverbacks and Manabees and hood bandits. Let them deal with them. Get your money up. Get yourself together so you can have a good quality woman, one that you desire, one that you know you can stay faithful to and build with. Dealing with these hoes gonna get you in trouble. I love you guys. Hey, Chris, what up, man? You come in this late. Man, I had the flow open and everything. What's up, man? It's my boy, Chris. But I'm about to jump off of here, man. I hope you guys have a great evening. Well, the rest of it. Should I eat something this late? I'm not sure. But I'm about to jump off of here, and I'm going to play this song. I love playing this song. This is so good to me. Y'all going to know it, too. Here we go. Well, maybe not. Anyway, I'm about to jump off here. You guys take care. Good night.